Lunch was good?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy? Okay. All right, buddy. We're buddies now, just so you know. So you're in the final stretch. It's this one. That wasn't a joke, that was for real. We've got this workshop, which goes till 2:30, and then we've got one more session about positivity to close us out, which is a good thing because I go before that, and so you're going to need some positivity afterwards. So this session, by the way, is highly interactive. It's also dangerous. Are you clapping at the interactive or dangerous?
Yes.
And so I'll kind of walk you through some of the rules and things that we'll be doing. But we're going to need teams of 6 or 7. If you have 6, you're good to go. If you're a table of 2 or a table of 3, you might consider jumping in to a table. If you're a table of 4, they can accept 2 or 3 people. Are there other math permutations that I could?
We've got these two.
If you're a table of 2, you can go with 4 or 5. If you're a table of 3, you can say. So I wanted to take care of this right out of the gate. 6 or 7. 6 or 7. 8's too many. 5 is too few. How else can I describe this? Are we good with that at least? Okay.
I need some.
We need one over here. One over here. I'm sorry guys, but she took one look and said, nope, this table's good. We can make it work with 5.
There's 7. Somebody.
Is this 7?
Yeah, we've got 2 7.
Fine. I'll go to the males only.
Oh, now you don't.
Is this?
It's all good.
All right. The good news is that's the most difficult part of this whole session. So you guys give yourself a round of applause. And I'm exhausted. Woo! That was tough. All right, so we're going to do this talk, Power Up with Paper Airplanes. You guys know me? Anyone not know me? Anyone not care not to? Yeah, every one of you are like, I wish I didn't. The only thing that I haven't shared, that I've shared with other groups is I have 6 children. Did I share that? Do you guys?
Brady Bunch.
And it's way more fun. It's way more fun when I'm in, because I am out of this office. It's way more fun when I'm in Madison or Lincoln, and then I'll engage with them and say, I'm really happy to be with you guys. But that's not entirely true. So, key learnings from this session. We're actually going to learn some stuff, but we're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to get a little loud, and so we'll play the little. You guys know the raise your hand thing, get quiet. So it's important. You guys are going to be throwing paper airplanes. You're going to be conversing a lot. It's going to be hard to get things quieted down. At least that's what's happened in the other 2 sessions. So I just ask for your cooperation because there is some learning to be had as a result of making paper airplanes. But we're going to talk about levers to improve our process performance. We're going to talk a little bit about flow, and we're going to do all of this through playing the paper airplane game. So, as I mentioned, we're going to be teams of 6 or 7, and there's going to be a manager on the team. Manager's responsibilities for raw materials, ensuring that the line workers are doing what they are supposed to be doing. Okay? We're going to have one accounting person. So our number crunchers, those of you that like to play with numbers, that's your jam. Okay, you'll be the accountant for the team. So you'll be counting inventory, the quality of products delivered, you'll track your profits and any losses. Okay? And then you'll have 4 assembly line workers, and you're responsible for your job and your job only. And I'll show you what those jobs are. The 7th person, that's why I said 6 or 7, if you have a team of 7, your job is to be the observer, or the factory observer, the FO.
Another
All of our FOs report to Becky, Heather, or Marcy, is that right? So you will be the assembly line observer, and you'll be looking at the system. And when I say the system, the whole factory line and how everything is operating. So you'll be looking for efficiency, you'll be looking for inefficiencies, you'll be looking for dysfunction in your team, who's good, who's not good.
Reminds me of pizza.
But be kind. Okay? Hey, you guys do what you need to do. That's all I'm saying. So let me set this up a little bit. So those are the roles. What I probably should have started with is, we all work for a company called Jets R Us. Look it up. It's an actual company. I was playing around with that, and I said Jets R Us, and it took me to a website, and I thought, that's interesting. Don't go there on your work laptop. I'm just kidding. It's an actual company. I don't know what they do. I didn't really look into it, but I was looking for like a logo or something, and it came up with theirs, and they do something with airplanes, I think. But just for fun, we work for a company, a factory called Jets R Us. We've got a massive government contract to make airplanes. We're a struggling company. And so it's important that we deliver as many airplanes as we possibly can for the government, or we may lose. It sounds familiar, but it's all about airplanes. But there was no intentional correlation. But yeah, we need to make as many airplanes as possible to deliver to the government. So quality matters. The number of airplanes that we deliver matter. Okay.
Do they have to fly, or can they be like?
They must fly.
So you're saying we got this RFP?
How far
If we were worried if we didn't get it, what would happen?
Do we need to stop and talk about the elephants in the room?
No, it's an elephant. Don't talk about it.
My goodness. Now,
They've all been grounded.
okay, so you guys get the drill. And here. Hello. Come on, Amy.
You got this.
Good job.
All right, so accountants, so before we get started, who are my number people? You guys self-organize. Okay? Does every team have an accountant? Every team needs an accountant.
Getting kind of lucky
Okay.
glasses gave it away.
So while we're on the subject, who are all of our managers? You don't have to be one with Milnet, but you are for Jets R Us.
I'm willing to give up my account.
Okay?
Let's
You
see the
get,
manager.
there's lots of negotiating going on right now.
All right.
Okay, so every team has an accountant? Yeah? Every team has a manager?
No.
Paper, rock, scissors. I don't care how you get there, but you need to get there. And the teams that have 7, who are FOs? You got FOs? Observers?
Already got it down.
Factory observers? I thought getting you guys organized at 6 or 7 was going to be hard, but my goodness.
Anybody want to be the observer?
So accountants, every team has an accountant. I think the answer is yes there. Every team has a manager, yes? Every team have an FO that has 7? Okay. No. No, you have to,
The other 4 have.
all right. Now, there will be four assembly line stations. And the best way to do this is that those 4 assembly line stations are sitting next to one another. Okay? We good? All right. So, here is where the math begins. We're going to teach a little bit of math.
Probably need to see some
So, we need to train our people. Right? This is complex work. And it's going to be fairly repetitive. And because we need to have high quality, I mean, we're building airplanes after all. They need to be safe, they need to be of high quality, they need to be able to fly. So we need to train each of our assembly line workers. Now, because our factory observer, our accountant, and our managers, they need to understand the process. They too will go through the training, even though they will not be hands-on. We don't want those people to be hands-on. I saw some of you who raised your hand. So for every person on your team, it is $5,000 to go through training. So if you have 7, that's 5,000. If you have 6, that's 30,000. Yeah? So we've made no money yet, but we've already spent money on training. Well, we haven't trained yet, but you'll pay me later. It's a good gig. Now, for the accountants and for everyone that's building airplanes, each airplane that we deliver, i.e. we fly, right, is we will make a profit of $2 million. Okay? So for every airplane delivered, we make $2 million. Yes?
How far does it have to fly?
It just has to fly. And not hit me.
Wow,
If it hits me, right. Okay, so we're going to go through training. Everybody get the first part of the math? Okay. Station 1. Determine who is station 1. And I'm assuming the person to your left or right, I'm not sure which direction you want to go, will be station 2, 3, and 4. Okay? So, I will demonstrate, because I am the trainer, I'm going to demonstrate these, yes, right. So station 1 people, you have 1 fold.
Chris, is this hands-on training? Like we can?
Yes,
can do
I
it
want
all?
you to do this with me. So if you're station 1, you will fold your paper in half, long ways. And if it looks something like this,
Not straight.
you were well trained. Everyone got something that's something like this. Who's the manager? We need to know. All right. So station 1, your job is to make this fold. Okay? We good there? Any questions on this fold? All right. Station 2. Now this one gets a little more complex. Station 2. There's been some great debate in the previous 2 sessions. Which way does that fold go? I think both work, right? So if you want to go take the corners and go inside or outside, I think either way will work. Don't get hung up on it. So when I say inside, the fold is this way. I might go inside here. That's That's how I've always been in the airplane. The way this is drawn, it looks like it's on the outside. Either way it flies, I test it.
I've always been an outside fold person. I've never done the inside fold.
Which one's they both fly.
All right. So if it looks like this, that's correct.
Hamilton found
If it looks like this, that's also okay. All right? Station 2, you guys good? You guys are well trained? Yes. Station 3.
Since we don't really care about
Okay, this is getting complicated now.
Now, station 3, you have one fold and then one additional task. That fold, you just kind of, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
you'll do that on both sides. Yeah? You guys get that fold?
So bring that in
Yep.
so
Only one, only one.
All right. So if your airplane looks something like this,
Well, we're not done with all this.
you're not quite done.
Step one.
The other thing that you have to do at Station 3 is you have to give your airplane an insignia,
A star.
a marking.
Green.
The purpose of that is because we want to identify each and every team. And so it needs to be something different. So if everyone makes a star, probably isn't super unique.
Yeah, I left
Right?
the arm.
So
Is that an R?
come up with an insignia that you guys are super proud of, but I would caution you. I would caution that that insignia is
that's better.
quickly drawn.
I love the arm.
Okay? So did you guys come up with an insignia and
Are you
and
gonna
drew it
write
on your airplane?
So it's
Yeah?
one's upside down.
one side?
Yes?
It depends on your perspective.
Okay. If your airplane looks like this and it has an insignia, you're well trained.
Both sides.
Yes or no?
If you want to save time, just do one side.
Okay.
Insignia.
The last fold, and there's an additional fold you will not see, you don't see on this screen. You're going to finish the wing, and you're also going to blunt the nose. That's for safety purposes.
Station 4 or 3?
I'm sorry, Station 4. Station 4 will finish the wing and blunt the nose. If you do not know how to blunt the nose, this is how it goes. All right.
Maybe make it a little bigger.
You're going to take the tip of the nose, which is sharp right now, and I'm just going to simply
So the
fold
wings bigger.
Right. No,
right
it's
there.
fine.
And now I've got it
Following that
blunt.
other line that I had when I didn't follow instructions.
Safety first.
Yeah. Yeah. Safety first. Now you flatten up.
For me, mostly,
Yeah.
But then she wants
Then you kind of blunt the nose. Oh, that's all taken off again. How's he blunting the nose? Oh, when you put it under.
all right. So if your paper resembles something closely to this, the blunt nose, finished wings, and an insignia. Everybody got
I
that?
think we're going to want bigger wings.
It just needs to fly.
You might want to change stations. I'm just kidding.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, full.
Okay. I'll ignore that comment. And Station 4 has one last task, which is quality assurance.
Oh, yeah, quality assurance.
And with quality assurance, you toss your airplane.
See how fly
Okay,
my flight.
so give give yourselves an applause for successfully, everyone have a successful airplane? Did everyone fly one successfully? And success is if it flew at least a few feet away from you.
I think you throw it in each other.
All right. So the training portion of this program is over.
Flies are not first.
Now,
Say, oh, that one flew.
everyone understand their tasks. The manager of what is a manager responsible? Oh, so raw materials. So raw materials, which is what's on the table. You already have some
Want
supply.
to trade?
The last one.
You may or may not run out of raw materials. If you run out of raw materials, Brian Hamilton is our factory
Vice President.
supplier.
VP, baby.
He's the senior vice president of raw material factory shed guy.
Now you have to write the big
Okay.
fancy R.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, yes,
Aren't they gonna count how many R's we have?
Yeah.
you have materials on
Even
the
if you do
table.
a C.
So that's a great. Ah, you guys are smarter than the average bear. Who clued you in? Who you talking to? Here. Raw materials cost $1 million per sheet. It's not just regular paper. This is airplane paper for crying out loud. This is high-tech stuff. No. 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 All right. So, I'll clue you in more later. Okay? We good? We know what we're doing? Station 1 good? If you're station 1, give me a thumbs up. You're good to go. You've been well trained. Congratulations. Station 2, you good? Okay. Station 3, you good? Awesome. How about 4? Everybody good? And then our managers know what they're doing? It's debatable. How about our FOs? FOs know what they're doing? And accountants. You're just doing math. Yeah. You're just observing because you're behind like a glass wall up on the second level looking
That
down
might go
at the
against
people doing the
us
hard
in
work.
our, we may have pulled too much product than what we can
No,
build.
well, sure, why not?
And we'll be upside down.
Yes, why not?
Upside down on an airplane.
You guys self-organize and figure out what you want to do there. All right. So, we need to get to round 1. We need to get to round 1. You guys believe in agility, right? And, we good here?
The question was, no funding, no 2 million profits, still 2
Correct.
million debits?
Correct. Yes. You do not count your 2 million until the airplane has flown. Okay? So let's get to round 1.
Let's do that.
In round 1, you guys believe in agile and iterative, right? And getting feedback. You're going to get some feedback, I promise. In round 1, your goal is to produce as many airplanes as possible in the 2-minute time box. And each worker, and this is true throughout, each worker is to stay in their station. Why is that?
Because that's what they're trained on.
That's what you're trained on. Station 2 can't possibly do what Station 1 has been trained on. So, it's for safety reasons too. All right? So, you're going to produce as many planes as possible in a 2-minute time box, and your timer begins now.
Here I am sitting doing nothing.
Watch Amy while
All the way up.
Yeah, roll forward. Actually, it doesn't matter. Just roll wherever.
Is that bad or what?
45 seconds.
this is
Seeing planes flying.
I'm doing bad. I am doing it.
27 seconds.
Quit distracting the workers.
15.
Uh-oh. Make it fly, make it fly, make it fly.
Three, two,
This was
1. All right, that's it. Time box is over. All right. So, so how many airplanes successfully flew? 5?
No extra product on the table.
What? Yeah, 5.
5, 4, 3, 6, whatever. What's that? How many did you get? Yikes. Chances are us is going to fail. All right. So if you had 5, that's $2 million per, so that's $10 million if I'm doing the math correct. I'm not going to do the rest because that's too hard. Your accountants are fully qualified.
We have one.
Inventory. Anybody have any inventory that you've got some folds in it, but it didn't quite take flight? So that is a debit. That is inventory that costs money. So if you have 4 that are somewhere in the process that didn't quite take flight, that's $4 million that you lose. Does that make sense? We will. We will. So I want you guys to
We have to subtract out our training costs.
also subtract your training costs from your profits, yes. So you guys at your tables, we're going to spend a couple minutes doing a quick little retro at your tables, talk about what happened, yell at whomever you need to that didn't pull their weight. I would encourage the observers to provide some feedback into the system because they have a different perspective than the rest of you.
That's not what we did in our prototype.
Trying to watch.
Here, I can shoot. See, this is where
So we ended up with 4 not done. Is there anything we need to do about that? Should I wait until there's only, so work
All right.
in progress, should only be 2?
We've got a few more rounds of this, so I'm going to cut this one a little bit
So I won't
short.
start a new one
If you
until
these are-
have.
So let's hear from the group. What did you guys chat about within your systems? What did you guys see that might have been a challenge, maybe an impediment, some sort of a hindrance of anything?
We work for a government contract.
There's a lot of things that happen at the end because there's a lot more complex structure
Mm.
necessary.
Okay. Yeah, and you're pointing at people? It's not a people thing, it's,
No,
okay,
it's-
good.
It's the process, and it's the training, so.
Yeah.
Our jobs were to move one of those pieces to earlier in the process so that we're not following something that's not necessary for stuff before. So
Okay, so you're,
like to pursue
yeah.
moving the logo drawings.
So this team saw a bottleneck at a certain station and deemed that it was not a skill set problem or a lack of motivation, it's just they had too much on their plate. And the request that they're making of their managers to maybe do training for another member of the team to offload that task. That's an interesting. Any other observations that you guys make? Yeah.
One of the things that we notice when it comes to materials management is if we have too many that are in process and handed around, then we're losing profits.
Yeah.
We've got to manage the intake.
Yeah, so that's a perfect segue into the next piece. But so this table witnessed that you were finding a bit of a logjam because we couldn't get anything through because there was just too much in the pipe, if you will. So yeah, too much work in progress. Yes, sir.
We deemed that the accountant manager had mandatory on that.
So the accountant and the manager is going to just jump in. They're trained to do it all, but they're not capable. In this thing, not,
Making the chicken unreal already?
all right. So in between each round, we're gonna kind of do a little bit of this. I want you guys to observe, which requires. So the next step of that is this is where this kind of session gets really challenging because everybody wants to. You've got so much to say and there's so much going on. But at the end of each round, we're gonna have some discussion. So let's try to give their attention, your attention, and then we need to keep the flow of the. Funny I use the word flow because we're going to talk about it in a different context, but the flow of this going. So let's talk about WIP. Somebody brought that up. WIP is work in progress, and it's defined as the number of task items that our team is currently working on. It frames the capacity of your team's workflow at any moment. Okay, this team over here mentioned that maybe there's too much in the queue. What limiting WIP does for us, it establishes a predictable throughput, helps us avoid log jams. It doesn't necessarily, we might still see them, which is an indication that perhaps that WIP needs to change. But it also exposes some hidden problems due to complexity. And I think one of the teams here talked about the complexity of Station 4 because we might limit what's in queue, there's less chaos going on, so we're able to witness that a little bit differently. Hidden problems such as delay or even variabilities. When teams have unlimited WIP, you guys familiar with, if this is my Kanban board, and we get to validate, it might be labeled test. How many teams have that type of scenario going on, right? The very last few days of the sprint, everything is dumped on test. And there's like You know, there's like 20 things waiting to be tested, and you're like, I'm done with my stuff. Right? Thank you very much. But I only have a half a day to finish it for you. But this is a demonstrate, or this gives us a little bit of an indication that we have a problem with too much in process, right? We're not. It also gets to the conversation of flow, which we'll talk a little bit about later. But there's too much in that queue. There's no way we're possibly going to get that done in the last couple of days of the sprint. Even though we finish maybe coding or whatever it is, but that validation step takes us a while. And think about the anxiety that occurs in that type of situation. If I'm a tester and I know I've got 2 days left and 94 things to go, I'm likely pretty stressed, right? Anybody have, maybe not 94, but more like 150. What we would rather see is something like this. And what I see in this kind of picture here is that there's a fairly even distribution of work within, between design, development, and test, right? Doesn't appear to be any huge backlog or log jams in this picture. And with that, it probably reduces a lot of stress. And you guys, I did a talk last year, year before, but when we're stressed, we're not ourselves. We don't do necessarily our best work, right? We probably get a little bit grumpy, might lash out. There's all kinds of things that could go on when we get super, super stressed. And because we're trying to deliver quality airplanes, if that person in Station 4 is working as quick as possible, we're probably cutting corners, right? And so they won't fly as well. They certainly don't look as good.